amazing what you can learn about a man when you're driven by hatred.
I'm Arizona Family political editor Dennis Welch.
Dennis, fake news Welch. Try to tell the truth.
And this is the Politics Unplugged podcast.
Dennis, if you have a problem with substance abuse, I am more than willing to talk to you anytime you need.
And welcome back to another edition of Politics Unplugged, the podcast. Today, I am joined by the crew from the Arizona Agenda, Hank Stephenson, Nicole Ludden. Thank you very much. Thank you both for being here. And the reason I invited you this week is because Nicole is my own, kind of personal hero this week, right? Because I don't know if you're on the podcast. Yeah, I just want to show you. This is this book by State Senator John Kavanagh.
Yeah, you got to get the width of that book.
Yeah,
it is a book.
It is not a thin read.
A light and enjoyable read.
It isn't light and enjoyable, and I don't know, and that's why Nicole is our hero of the week.
Mm-hmm.
She read this book cover to cover, so we didn't have to.
Better her than us.
So we're basically starting here with a quick book review.
Yep.
How was it?
It was surprisingly a good read.
Okay.
Kavanaugh wrote this. He teaches political science at ASU.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote this as a textbook because he said there wasn't a good enough introductory state legislature textbook out there. So he's like, I'm going to do my own thing.
I could see there being a lack of those kinds of books, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So we actually took a couple weeks off from publishing.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of those days I sat down and told myself I'm going to read John Kavanagh's textbook. And it's actually very revealing. He's very honest about all the insider maneuvering in the legislature, which I think is really helpful for a student. You know, I didn't learn that stuff until I had to start reporting on it. And he's funny and witty, classic dad jokes.
Yeah, and he is funny in person. I'm not surprised because in person he is funny. He's got a great sense of humor, and, he's done, remember a few years ago, Hank, he got in trouble for doing a roast on Arpaio or something like that?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Can we pull up a clip, Colin?
Yeah.
I would like to see this, actually.
I like that Hank has been here so long, he just feels comfortable asking Colin to pull up clips.
I like that. If I had it, I would do it.
But he's very funny. He's engaging. I mean, whether you like his politics or not, and there's a lot to be said about Kavanaugh. Is there a chapter in there about why you should introduce your craziest bills early?
There's not, but he does. One of the last chapters is the 10 commandments of being a legislator.
Oh.
Legislator with apologies to God, he notes. And
First one is thou shalt not kill.
No, but I think
That's not a command.
It's not. One of them is something about, honesty, being honest to your constituents. And he said there's an exception for other lawmakers. When they introduce stupid bills, you should probably tell them that's interesting instead of outright saying that's a horrible idea.
Oh, he's giving his tell away.
Yeah.
I'd never do that.
Yeah, he gives a lot of tells in the book. I was very, very surprised by that.
Okay.
But maybe he assumes people.
It's like it used to be a joke when I was playing in bands, like a band that sucked, and they'd come over to you and say, "Hey, how'd you think we did?" And you tell them, "Man, you guys are really tight."
That was the line?
Yeah,
okay.
You guys are really tight.
Wow.
Man, you know how to play guitar, bro.
You know how to write a bill, bro. This is really tight. This is tight bill.
This bill is tight.
Yeah.
So if you had to give a quick review, like a blurb, how would you summarize this?
So, like I said, it is intended to be a textbook, and that's how it reads. The first chapter is goes back to ancient Greece and democracy and how it was discovered and stuff. So I did some
goes
skimming.
To Greece.
Yes, exactly. But it was worth the read for the little blurbs inserted throughout it. There's a lot of also ChatGPT art in there, which is so funny.
He's copying you guys.
I think he admitted that.
He's a big fan of the agenda. He's funniest in the comments section of the Arizona agenda, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, if you don't read the comments section, Kavanaugh is there a couple times a week at least.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
In my
Talk in his
story
book.
on the book, he was having a whole discourse in the comments with our readers.
I wonder if he'd let us survey the course.
If you buy a book.
Yeah, I mean, like we could just show up, you know.
Just audit, sit in the back.
Just audit his course
I
from
always
the
thought
back.
about that because there's actually so many like politicians / professors. It seems to be a cush little gig that you can get once you're in power. And if we wanted to do a series of like auditing their courses, I think that could be a lot of fun. Dennis, you want to join up?
Yeah.
Collab? The three of us in the back of their class, just like
Maybe
throwing
you
shit.
can get away. It's a little bit hard for me to get away with being a college student at this age.
Yeah, college
It's like
is for
Steve
everyone.
Buscemi, like, hello, fellow high schooler. Hello, fellow college student. Are you ready to learn today? Okay, yeah.
So
And
you didn't even crack this book before the interview,
No.
Dennis? Like a little bit?
no, I failed.
Yeah, I cracked it. I flipped through it, but thank God for Nicole. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I said, you're my hero. Anything new that you learned from this book?
I actually learned a lot of things. I've been at the agenda here for almost 2 years now.
2 years.
And Hank's taught me the ins and outs of how things work, but there's so much more. And he even said it was supposed to be half of its length, but he kept finding stuff to add. One of my favorite
Well,
things.
once you start in Greece, you know.
Right, exactly.
If you start your book in Greece, ancient
Yeah.
Greece, you know you're not in for a short read.
Yeah, a lot of ground to cover. So when I first started it, I was like, oh God, here we go. But one of my favorite details is the beer caucus, which Hank knew about, but I had no idea that there's like an informal beer caucus where lawmakers go to bars and just hang out, I guess. But he specifies there's no agreeing to votes in the beer caucus meeting. If you're inhibited.
Get John Kavanagh wasted and get his signature on a couple of bills
They,
co-sponsored.
they get drunk and then realize that enough of them showed up. Like, fuck, damn it, we got a quorum.
You know, open meetings laws don't actually apply to the legislature.
No,
the joy of writing
Hank,
our laws,
yeah.
you can always exempt yourself from it.
Hank, you're so cynical. You've been down at the legislature too long.
Remember closed caucuses when they started doing the closed caucus?
Yeah.
It's all a scam. It's all a scam, Dennis. That's what it
So
boils down
cynical.
to.
Is he like this all day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty on brand.
Well, and the important question is, I noticed that there was not an index in this book. Did Hank or I make it into the book at all?
Hank did.
Oh.
We did. The
I
agenda
did
made it into the
too.
book.
Oh, nice.
I did not see a Dennis mention. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Yep. We were in the section about like what?
Responsible media.
no, not
About
that
media
section.
in general. He's actually very generous about like the decimation of the local news industry, and pulled a quote I think Hank wrote a while ago when we were talking about that. And
All right. So I didn't make it into the book, so okay.
No.
He will be getting a negative review from me.
You know, actually, you should check out the reviews on Amazon. There's like one lobbyist being like, a must read. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
he asked me to leave a review too, but I don't know if that's ethical.
Review it.
It's like, okay.
I mean, hell, we wrote like a 900
I
word review
basically
of
did
it.
review it for
Drop
you.
it into Amazon.
Yeah.
A must read, Kevin Demena. Like, come on, dude.
It was Kevin Demena. Did you see it or did you just guess
That's
that?
so funny. No way.
Well done. Well done. I think there were like 2 reviews, and I'm like, I know both of those names, but you know,
I
it's a
must
small world.
read. Oh God, that's great. No. I am not tossing this book out. I will probably read some of it.
Wait. I want to ask how you got your hands on that copy of that book.
He mailed it here.
That's a normal way to give a book out.
Oh yes,
Nicole, how did you
Nicole,
get
how
your
did
hands
you
on
get
that
your book?
copy of
Please
that
do share this story.
I was lucky enough to have my legislative manual hand delivered. He came to my door,
Whoa.
my little apartment complex in Phoenix, which isn't like the best area, and my fiance actually opened the door and he was like, "Somebody delivered this for you." I was like, "What? Like a UPS? Or like, what do you mean?" He's like, "No, it's like a random older man," and he said, "This is for Nicole." And it was John Kavanagh.
That is what you get with an old beat cop. He just shows up at your door and
Oh,
knocks.
Yeah.
Give me
No,
the. Was it a rainy night and like, and it was a rainy
Middle of
night
the
and then
day.
a dog barked out in the distance and then.
That's why I only give out my P.O. box address. Right.
No,
Did-
middle of the day.
Does he knock like a cop? 'Cause all cops
Of course
knock.
he knocks like a
Because
cop.
all cops knock the same way, right?
I didn't even hear the knock. I
Oh,
was
okay.
probably on a meeting with Hank or something, and just got it. My fiance was the receiver, and he was very confused. And I had to explain to him
I'm
how funny what
confused
just
right
happened
now.
was.
I'm like, how did he get your address?
Yeah, I like went to the legislative website and pulled up his headshot and I was like, "Was this the man you saw?" And he was like, "Yeah."
You put John Kavanagh like
He's in a lineup.
Can you point out the man you saw here?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. This is the guy.
Yeah. Which one of these old white men?
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that, but and your insights on it. Like, yeah, I'm not surprised. It's an easy read or whatever, engaging even because we were saying earlier. I think John Kavanagh. He's got a great sense of humor and he is an engaging personality. Whether you enjoy his politics or agree with them or not, I think and I'll definitely be giving it a read. So. Shall we
look directly at me? Sorry,
So
I
should
shamed you
you.
on that.
No,
I didn't read it
don't.
either. to be fair.
No. I was going to freely admit, and I did not get to it. Other business at hand. Big news this week at the Capitol. Speaking of John Kavanagh, he signed on to an ethics complaint trying to get rid of Analise Ortiz because she had the audacity to tip off the public to ICE agents in her district.
Isn't that wild?
Isn't
What a time to be alive. Police are in your neighborhood. That's a crime.
That's a crime if you tell people that there's cops in your neighborhood. What is going on here? I mean, it seems to be a bit far to call for. I mean, it's in writing. The call for her removal.
Yeah.
It's not just saying we're filing this complaint. Do what you will.
And it was like indisputably merits a removal from the legislature. And it's like, well, that's pretty disputable. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's indisputable for sure.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know, man. What's your take on that? What do you got, Dennis?
I don't know. It's my
baffled look over
podcast.
here.
It's my podcast. Hank.
You don't get to ask the questions anymore, Dennis.
Three people arguing
This
over.
is the problem of having other reporters around.
We're all
They're just
arguing.
turning it on you.
No,
Dennis, have you ever tweeted that cops are in your neighborhood?
Many times.
Isn't that what news reporters do?
I mean, isn't that what Google does?
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing that we're getting towards here. I mean, not that long ago, there was a station out in Washington State where the Trump administration started like attacking them, like I think going after their FCC license over the fact that they like reported news that was already out there about ICE agents being in this neighborhood. Like it is getting weird out there because there's no crime in. And to be clear, this is not doxing. Most of these men are wearing face masks. These are not, personally identifiable information about it. Calling it doxing is absurd. That is not the definition of doxing. There's
no personal information that is being put out there. I mean, we just had Stacey Pearson on the TV show talking about this, and she's been married for 30 years to the same cop. And she's like, this is ridiculous that,
She tells her friends where he is at any given point. Is
Yeah.
she going to jail? Like, what are we moving towards here? This is kind of a scary development.
Well, and worse, I mean, it's gone a step further from just an ethics complaint. They're turning this over to the U.S. attorney, right? I mean, what's happening here? What could happen with this?
Nothing. I mean, what could happen with
Yes.
it? Who knows? We're in some weird times. But I think the fact that Rachel Mitchell has already said, no, there's no crime. I'm not investigating
I mean, that's
this.
significant, yeah.
Yes. I mean, Attorney General Chris Mays also. But like Rachel Mitchell's a, partisan Republican. Like if anyone was going to take that leap, it might have been her. And she said, not a
I'm taking a pass.
Yeah, because there's no crime here. The argument with the ethics complaint is she's violating her oath of office. No, also not. Like, this stuff is getting pretty absurd out here. And I understand that, ICE agents are facing a lot of backlash for what they're doing. But, attacking people for essentially spreading news is, to me, like a very scary development.
Yeah.
We're making jokes about this, but it is dark times.
Well, I think there's a lot of dark humor and a lot of dark times to get through all of this. But it is a significant, serious thing. I think you are right about that, very much so. But there's also like a very much a performative element to this because
very
Warren
performative.
Peterson is running for Attorney General. And I think, he's just trying to get some headlines out of this, right?
Yeah, everybody needs headlines. That's
And
how the world
this
goes
whole
around.
thing spurred from libs of TikTok,
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
and they're infamous for their antics. So I think that just kind of exemplifies the
Now, Senator Bullock she's the head of the Ethics Committee in the Senate, correct?
Right.
She is put out a statement saying that they're going to take this serious and want to. What do you think happens? Like, do you think they take this up and they really give this a serious hearing?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, an expulsion comes down to a.
You're not going to get that.
Yeah, no, it's
You don't have the
two-thirds
votes for that.
vote, and like the Republicans just don't have those margins. But as John Kavanagh explains in his book, there are a lot of ways that they could mess with her. I mean, from taking her off committees, formal censure her only takes a simple majority vote. They could move her parking lot to someplace in the very back of the Capitol. There's
Oh yeah, people don't realize how high schooly it is down
it is
there.
petty. Petty as all hell.
Yeah, I mean some of the wickedest fights that you hear about, like
Lowest stakes.
Yeah,
the
it's-
lower the stakes,
yeah.
the more absurd the fight gets.
you're like so and so they hate each other, and you like do a little digging, you think there might be a real story there. It's like, oh, it's over a freaking parking space.
Yeah, it's like Mean Girls. I did a story at the beginning of the year, like grouping them into cliques and like where they would sit in a high school cafeteria. 'Cause
Oh,
it
yeah,
is-
Very on brand.
It is that petty.
Yeah, and some of the best dramas out there is when somebody betrays their clique and they kick them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to go sit over in that table at lunch.
Yeah.
Remember when they took away Daniel Patterson's office and he like camped out in some like conference room
Oh, yeah.
for months?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's the level of like
Oh,
they
yeah.
can't kick him out, but they can just make life miserable. And I think that's what Ortiz, and like it's one thing to like make her life miserable in official capacity, but I haven't spoken to her, but I'm sure she's getting death threats. I'm sure she's getting hate mail. Like it's there are serious implications to blowing this shit out of proportion in this way.
Yeah.
And yeah.
She could get doxxed, end up being the one getting doxxed from all of this.
Oh.
The
Well, yeah,
online
yeah. I mean, it's
vitriol.
easy to find a politician's address and
Right.
contact information and all those kinds of things. There's so much paperwork out there.
Yeah.
Can you find an individual ICE agent's home address? No.
Can
But
you
find?
can you identify an ICE agent
Yeah,
today?
no.
Is the question. I mean, yeah, everybody wants law enforcement officers to be able to go home safe and whatnot, but being out on a public street and people reporting that, again, to your guys' point, I mean,
You're in TV news. That is the whole game. It is
Yeah.
crime. Police are at X corner. We are on the street. Going live. Like
going
that
live,
is-
right.
yeah. What's the ramifications from
But if
that?
you're a Democratic politician who puts that on the internet, it is at very least expulsion worthy.
And some of
possibly
the stuff we have seen down there that A has never got an ethics hearing, or B that did, but they wouldn't even approach like expulsion on that. But to
Right.
do this,
Yeah.
I mean, it just tells you it is such a change over the years I have been down at the legislature that this is crazy. I couldn't even think about this being an issue when I started down there. I mean, obviously I've been down there far too long, but it shows you how much that game has changed.
Speaking of being down there far too long, Andy Biggs. That was my transition. Sorry, it didn't work out the way I thought it would.
So you get all these he's working on transitions. Hank is taking over the show. He's calling for Colin over
let's
there.
wrap.
I'm here. What you got?
Do you have Hank's clip yet? I mean, he's getting upset over here.
I'll see what I can do.
Before we get to Andy Biggs, adjacent to that, are you guys feeling the Schweikert burn?
I feel like there might be a burn coming.
Yeah.
What do you
So the burn-
what do you think? What's
You-
your
you think-
over under?
you-
Is
you- you-
Schweikert
you-
jumping into the gubernatorial primary?
I'll ask the question.
sorry. Damn. Colin, where do we find these people?
Politics Unplugged with Hank Stephenson. Let's ask Nicole. You think he gets in?
I think he probably, in the political sphere, is probably a much more viable option than the two we have on the table right now
Okay.
in terms of,
I can
far
see that.
rightness.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, Freedom Caucus member, a little bit more middle of the road on that spectrum than an Andy Biggs. Has a track record under like Karen Taylor Robeson. I think, three-way races are really hard to predict, but I think he sees something of a middle lane, or at least, is making noise about seeing something of a middle lane. I'm sure there are a lot of people in Arizona and Washington, D.C. who are urging him to consider something like this, probably more in Arizona. You know, that seat, if he leaves it, will be up for grabs.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, who wants to be in Congress when you could run a state? I don't know.
Well, I get a sense that maybe he's just tired of Congress.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the public doesn't understand, like, just the amount of time it takes to be a congressman from Arizona. You're on a plane on average about 40 hours a month. If you're coming back and forth every weekend, which essentially is what you got to do if you're in the House, because you always got to be back with the people.
4-year terms as governor. That's half as many elections you got to run.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if he gets in or not, but I think there's certainly a lane that could be argued for Schweikert to hop into
Yeah,
this
but that
thing.
lane, does that include a Trump endorsement, which is like the big deal? I just don't see an.
There's already 2 Trump
Right.
endorsements.
Yeah, you
Why
see
not
this. So
make
it
three?
splits up
The lane
like
is
who are the non-Trump primary voters?
Yeah.
Right.
I just don't know.
Not many of those left.
Yeah, I mean, I just
Can Trump give a third endorsement in this race, though?
Trump can do.
Why
You
not?
know,
Sure he will.
Trump can do whatever the heck he wants when it comes to the party. I mean, it's shown over and over again. What is MAGA? Whatever he wants.
Yeah.
What is
I think
America
we should
first?
just take the most recent one as the presiding endorsement.
Yeah,
You know, so I endorse Biggs last, so that's the one.
that's
And
the.
then
That's,
Schweikert comes in, he
Okay.
gets one, then he trumps it.
Yeah.
Trumps it.
But, I gotta imagine like Schweikert statewide, his name ID's got to be nowhere. Because I wouldn't even think it's that high in his own district.
Less than an Andy Biggs, you think?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's always kind of hard to gauge how much, this is the bubble is saturated versus like average person
Yeah.
knows who that is. I don't think people really know who.
But Biggs has
Andy
got that turning
Biggs
point
is. Yes.
behind him, which
Right.
is
Does have
going
the
to be
turning point.
significant. I don't know what Schweikert has.
What races has Turning Point won? Yeah, that was
That
a
many.
long
Yeah, that was
silence, wasn't it? Dead air. Jesus.
Yeah, that was because we were counting up how many they won. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
none.
I mean,
Not many.
yeah.
The
They're
presidency.
candidates, yeah. And their candidates win legislative seats, but like, I don't know. Were they there for Eli Crane? I don't think that was what put him over the edge. Abe Hamadeh had some backing from them, but that's like a hard red district. Like, they've never won a statewide. I mean, Carrie Lake, she had the Turning Point people solidly.
You mean the
behind her.
duly elected governor? Kelly Lake.
Yes. Man, that term's about to run out.
Well, yeah, you made the transition again. Andy Biggs.
Andy Biggs, the Andy Biggs
Biggs.
news quiz. Did you take the Andy
I did not
Biggs
take the Andy Biggs
quiz
news
today?
quiz.
What are you doing with your mornings if not taking our quizzes,
I
Dennis?
slacking. Just been slacking. Been trying to save my show from a hostile takeover from you.
I was like, oh, is this a good news scoop?
Right.
It's me. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, what was up with that? What's in the Andy Biggs news quiz this week?
I was reading something in one of the national publications, just like quoting a bunch of different Republican consulting types on the issue of can Andy Biggs win a general election in Arizona? And like the answer was no from most of them. And it was, a lot of different things. It's, he doesn't have any huge amount of money to throw into this race like Robeson could. He doesn't have that magnetic personality of a Carrie Lake. But a lot of it was, and also he's kind of weird, the things he votes for. And so, that is 100% true, as you, a longtime Capitol veteran can attest.
These votes, you're down there for that long. You're going to have some strange votes that you're going to be held accountable for. And,
Yes.
and all of them will be dug up.
Uh-huh.
Attack ads.
I mean, this is, an afternoon of me just like trying to remember things and like putting together a little short list. But like, there are paid professionals who do this kind of dirt digging just for the ads. And I'm sure their list is much more comprehensive than mine. But, we had this idea 6 months ago of doing a quiz where all the answers are just Gail Griffin. And so I kind of, that was the whole idea. It was just like, what if we did a quiz, but
All the answers are Gail Griffin.
so this was kind of do you know Andy Biggs' voting record quiz? And it was just, did Andy Biggs vote for this? Did Andy Biggs vote for this? And by the 8th one, you should have gotten the trend, hopefully, that yes, Andy Biggs voted for them all. That was the joke of the whole thing. But we had some weird stuff on that list. Some things I had kind of forgotten about until I went digging on.
Because that's one of the things that makes our job, like reporters, easy on something like that is you just go ask people who've been around for a long time,
Right.
and whatever they remember, like a weird vote, is usually something like just really crazy.
Remember that one? You can look at 1,000 bills, but remember that one is always so much more
because
useful.
some of the people you talk to at the Capitol have seen not just thousands, like hundreds of thousands of bills probably over their lifetime, and if they remember something, it's like, yeah,
nope, that one was weird. And I brought this up to you before the show, and you're like, the one you mentioned was the first one that popped to my mind too. Was the first one that popped to anyone's mind. There's a lot of them in there, but there's some weird stuff over the years.
Yeah, and there's some weird decisions he made too. Senate President is going to pop up. I mean, Epstein has been in the news a lot. That kind of stuff. I'm wondering how Karen Taylor Robeson handles the fact that he was accused of killing a bill to decertify the Colorado City Police Department.
I remember that episode.
Yeah, and a lot of people looked at, I'm not that familiar with the ins and outs of the case. It's been so long, but a lot of people looked at Colorado City and the police department as enablers.
Oh, yeah.
For a lot of this, and that's why there was a bill that had widespread support to decertify and allow the county sheriff to take over law enforcement in the area. That bill passed the House, and he was Senate President. It died in his desk.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that opposition research is going to get a hold of that. I did a story on that. You guys probably, Hank, you probably wrote a story or two for it back in the day. And they're going to run wild with stuff like that.
Yeah, I only didn't include that one in the list because it was just something that he killed. He didn't actually have to vote against.
Yeah.
He was already Senate President at that point.
And he may have an answer for it, but he didn't answer for it when he first ran for Congress, when he won by 28 votes?
Was that what it was? Yeah, I was trying to think about that the other day.
Yeah, I wonder if there's ever an opportunity in which he would, have to explain himself like that. I feel like that's not an opportunity that arises very much anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he goes on, he does Newsmax, he does all these far right stuff, and he's been pretty used to that. It'll be interesting to see him come out and do more mainstream media that's not so right leaning or whatnot, see how he can handle that, because there's got to be some ring rust there.
Yeah.
Politics Unplugged with Hank Stephenson. You can come on anytime, Andy.
Formal invite.
He's supposed to be coming on here.
Is he?
Yes.
Andy's a pretty open person too. That's one thing I've appreciated about him. There have been times where he just, shuts you down and won't talk, won't even look at you as you chase him down the halls of the Capitol. But other times, he's very direct. He used to hold semi-regular kind of, meetings with the reporters weekly when he was Senate President. He's
you'd go over there. There's always a gaggle by the Senate chair, the president's chair in the Senate. After a session, he'd run over there and he'd talk to you.
Yeah,
There's
something to be said for that. I think that is a skill that is being quickly lost as you just get to shout fake news, or it's probably a deep fake, or whatever as your dumb excuse of the day to avoid questioning. Andy Biggs has been around long enough that didn't used to be an option. He knows how to
deal
with reporters.
Yeah. He's good at it actually too, and and since he's left, we've had some issues with some of that in access with some of the Senate presidents, and whatever.
Yeah,
the good old days.
Kavanaugh talks about that in his book, how he always gives his personal cell phone number to reporters, and he's open and transparent.
He is.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I'm not special, but yeah.
Yeah.
Just how important that is.
And there'll be some reporters that don't cover politics but from time to time find themselves on a political story and be like, you think John Kavanagh will talk to me? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
he will.
Pick
up the phone. Yeah.
You think he'll talk to me? Yes.
He has his clever lines already worked up. He's got a couple of jokes prepared for each question.
I can see him. I can see him like at an actual typewriter still, just wordsmithing his responses.
Feels right.
Just right here. This is good.
You remember the space pens?
No.
Space pens. They write upside down. They write in freezing weather. You guys never had a space pen? Oh my gosh.
Never heard of such a thing.
I know what I'm getting y'all for Christmas. Space pens.
Arizona Agenda space pens.
I always imagine John Kavanagh like laying in bed and like writing his jokes, with this little like space pen.
Yeah,
It's
just,
like,
just wordsmithing away. Nah. It's too much fat on this.
Yeah.
Got to cut it down. Oh man, that guy's a trip. I think we've gone far over time, but it's always such a pleasure to see you guys. And what are you gonna have on? What are you gonna have ready for me the next time you come on the show? I mean, it's your show.
Plan any of this, Dennis? It's just like literally wake up and
it's
like,
your
what's
show.
today?
It's your show.
Thank you.
I can't wait to have you guys back. I want to thank you very much for being here. Before we go, any big plans for the weekend?
I think I'm going to a board game cafe.
I kind of like that idea.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the nerdiest new fact about me is, have you guys ever played the game Age of Empires? Cool.
say I
That's
have.
the
Can't
exact
say I
silence I
have.
expected out of
Can't
this.
say I
Apparently, it's like
have.
I don't play video games. My wife is a bit of a gamer.
Okay.
But this game is fantastic, and I'm just
Is it a video
addicted to
game
it
or a
now.
board game?
It's a video game, and it's like, like 90s PC like style video
Okay.
game of like world building. And so I think I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go play at least a couple of rounds of that. It's my new obsession.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
we'll
like
see
that.
how long it lasts.
I like that. I like that for you.
It's cool. I
All
haven't
right.
pressed a video game controller in 20 years, so
I like that.
that's what I'm doing with my free time now when I get it.
Fun.
All right. Thank you guys for stopping
Thank
by
you.
here. We're bringing on Colin now to talk about some other stuff. Probably Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton.
He's
Nice.
back. He's back
Why?
on tour, and it's just that bothers me.
Well, what about Eric Clapton bothers you?
Not a fan.
Oh,
Not a fan.
wow.
Not a
Cool.
fan. All right.
All right.
We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Do it soon.
All right, welcome back to the second half of the Politics Unplugged podcast. I've been having a day, man. Don't
start
edit that
that
out.
over?
Don't.
No, you wanna keep
let's
that?
let's do it, man.
We'll keep
you know
it.
what?
All
We're
right.
keeping it real here at Politics Unplugged,
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
It's been a long week. We keep it real here.
Yeah.
This is a real thing.
Yeah. Sometimes real messy.
Yeah, it's all the time really messy.
Yeah.
Been a long week, been a long day. And yeah, I know it was supposed to be a 4-day week for most of you, but I labored on Labor Day.
Oh, it's nice of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know,
I did not.
so I labored so you all didn't have to. Yeah, let's talk a little bit. I want to get your thoughts on the drama playing out with Analise Ortiz. I mean, I get, Republicans, Democrats always trying to score political points wherever they can on this, but Republican leaders trying to oust a lawmaker because she is posting on social media where law enforcement is seems a bit too far. I mean, as Hank was saying, this is kind of a serious thing. You can make jokes about it, but it is a very serious thing. It's what the media does all the time.
Yeah. Do you know how many apps I have on my phone that'll tell me where police and firefighters are at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. It's performative. And I see stuff like that. And I just wonder, are there people who buy into this, who don't look at it and roll their eyes? She tweeted that, hey, there are ICE agents outside this school that's in her district, and they think she should be kicked out of the state Senate for that. And it's preposterous. And they don't have the votes. So all it is a bunch of noise trying to make her look bad. And if they're trying to sway anyone with that, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, when Rachel Mitchell, county attorney, says, I'm taking a pass on this.
Yes. Decidedly Republican county attorney.
Yeah.
Rachel Mitchell.
No. And it's being forwarded to the U.S. Attorney of Arizona. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens with that.
Yes.
afterwards.
No, it's a preposterous complaint.
Oh. All right. Let's move on to a real favorite topic of you and I.
Yeah.
Eric Clapton.
Yeah, he's on tour.
He's on tour again. I was just going to say, if you're not a regular listener of the Politics Unplugged podcast, we're not fans of Clapton.
No, we're not. Dennis particularly has neither one of us likes Clapton. He announced a tour. He's not coming here. I was disappointed to see that Dennis won't get his chance to go see old slow hand in person.
Slow hand.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He's opening in Columbus, Ohio, which is his like adopted hometown now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
The heart of Buckeye country. I don't know, but that's where he lives now.
It reminds me of England.
So I thought it would be a fun exercise, given how much we have shat upon Eric Clapton.
Yes.
Over our time
fair.
here.
That's fair.
If I could come up with a positive Eric Clapton thing, and see if we had something nice we could say about him. So I said I would find 4 or 5 Eric Clapton related songs that I like, share them with you, and get your thoughts. So I did. I found 4. I couldn't find 5. He's been around 60 years. I found 4 songs that I like to kind of like.
And I did not like any of them.
You didn't like any of them. So to recap, Presence of the Lord by Blind Faith.
Yeah.
Sung by Steve Winwood, which helps. I like the song, although in the middle, about 2.5 minutes in, there is a Clapton guitar solo that is absolutely horrendous and completely stops the song and takes you out of everything. And for the love of God, I don't know why it's there other than
his ego.
He's Eric Clapton.
It's there for his ego.
Yeah, and it's all played through a wah pedal. So it's this nice bluesy organ Steve Winwood thing that 2.5 minutes in stops and this god-awful guitar solo. But take the guitar solo out, it's a nice song. Okay, White Room by Cream. written and sung by Jack Bruce of Cream.
In a white room with black curtains.
And apparently Clapton's guitar in it was all overdubbed. And not very good.
No.
But, okay. Not a fan. Derek and the Dominoes, Layla.
And I think my comment to you yesterday is, like, it's not a bad song. And actually, the worst part of the song is that forever long guitar solo.
Yeah.
How long? It's like 5 minutes or something.
The funny thing, as I looked into this stuff, I realized that the Clapton-related stuff I like is the stuff he has the least to do with.
Yeah.
Because that classic, Layla's got that classic guitar riff that everyone loves. Well, that's a Duane Allman riff. Allman came up with the riff. He was a member of Derek and the Dominoes. None of these songs are Eric Clapton songs. This one's a Derek and the Dominoes song. That's a Duane Allman riff. And then it's got the beautiful piano coda to the end of it that turns up in like every Scorsese movie and stuff. That was Jim Gordon, his drummer, I think, who stole it from his girlfriend, Rita Coolidge. Last one, by the way, Layla, written about George Harrison's wife. My 4th song, another Derek and the Dominoes song, also written about George Harrison's wife, Bell Bottom Blues.
Such a dumb song.
It is that.
Oh, it's a rock and roll. I'm going to write a song about the latest fashion.
Yeah. Apparently, George Harrison's wife asked him to get some jeans for her when he was in the U.S. on tour.
Why doesn't he write a song today about Crocs?
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, there you go. I tried to be positive about Eric Clapton.
You did. You tried. I think you were.
Along.
And I wasn't. Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of something positive I could say.
Yeah.
I'll say this. He could grow a pretty killer beard.
Yeah, the beard's not bad.
Yeah, no, I'm jealous of that. I wish I could grow a beard that healthy.
Okay.
Mine's all patchy and
yeah,
it just doesn't work.
Okay, so we got that for Clapton, so that's good. That's a positive note. Thank you.
I'm working overtime here, man. It was. I mean,
I'm Captain Sunshine here, coming up with 4 songs from his 60-year career that I don't mind. None of which are his solo songs because they're all universally wretched.
Can't get away
from the low
from
point. Do you agree on the low point? His cover of "I Shot the Sheriff."
Oh yeah, that's just a terrible.
It's awful.
Just god awful. Yeah, I mean. No, it just.
Yeah, that's everything about it.
I mean, I probably haven't listened to that song except by accident in 30 years. Yeah. I mean, that's, Remember that compilation that was everywhere, Pieces of Time or something like that?
No. All right. So who does Iowa have this weekend?
Oh, God. Yeah, football is the first real football Friday that we're recording, meaning a full football Friday with both college and pros. And yeah, I'll be waking up Saturday morning and I'm preparing to have a disappointment omelet.
Yeah.
Iowa's playing Iowa State. Iowa State's really good this year. Iowa is not. At least their quarterback is not the guy on the offseason. Everybody thought his name is Mark Gronowski. He came from South Dakota State, and he is considered one of the best, if not the best, Division II FCS quarterback in the history of FCS Division II.
And again, Iowa fans were getting really psyched up for the season because there was video of him in practice completing a 10-yard out pass that was a spiral and relatively on target.
Yes.
And when I say that, that's not an exaggeration.
No,
it went viral among Iowa fans because he completed a 10-yard out pass in practice.
Yeah, and you're not overhyping it because it was the Iowa football Hawkeye official social media account that put that out.
Yeah.
And it was like slow motion with dramatic music on it. And you're like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's supposed to be the big savior. And they played the Albany Great Danes.
Yeah.
Proud football tradition that they do have.
I'm sure they do. I'd never.
They have.
I did not know who Albany was.
Yeah, no. And,
game.
like, they are the Great Danes. I mean, literally, like, Marmaduke is on the side of their helmet.
Yeah.
And Mark Gronowski, who's, again, reminds you, this is Albany's a Division II school, and Mark Gronowski comes from Division II FCS.
Yeah.
So he's not playing a better caliber team.
No.
And he threw for 44 yards. 44 yards.
It's like you put the helmet on and just utterly forget how to throw forward.
Yeah,
fast.
no, he did.
Yeah.
He did. And like 44 yards, and then he cramped up and had to be taken out of the game. I mean, Iowa won comfortably, but
Oregon's game last weekend was a good reminder of why I don't really bet on college football. I certainly don't bet on Oregon games because I said Oregon was a 29.5-point favorite, and don't be fooled by that. They never do that. They don't. They don't blow teams out. I don't care who they're playing. It's going to be closer to that, and the final score was 59-13.
Oof.
So it was, the Oregon it was Montana State, who's was ranked and still is ranked number 3 in FCS.
Is there bad blood between Oregon and Montana or something?
Not really, just,
Because at some point, it seems like that score like that, like, you might want to let off the gas a little bit.
Yeah, no, and they weren't running it up. The first half was an ass kicking. And I mean, I think there's a little bit of bad blood between anyone in the Northwest and Oregon at this point.
Maybe.
I think they're all probably a little resentful.
Mm-hmm.
But no, there was nothing. This weekend might be a little different because we're playing Oklahoma State, and Mike Gundy decided to run his hillbilly mouth at the start of the week.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he
Gave
complained
us some
that
good,
it was unfair that little schools like Oklahoma State should be forced to play Oregon because Oregon has a big budget and, little Oklahoma State just can't afford to compete on that kind of level, and that really they should be only playing schools in their sort of budget area, and it's just mean and unfair to require them to play Oregon. It's a non-conference. They're not in the same conference.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State signed the deal. Oklahoma State, who was long supported by T. Boone Pickens, but is now complaining about how shit broke they are.
T. Boone Pickens.
Yeah, and so in response to that, Dan Lanning, Oregon coach, said two things. Well, some teams budget to win, and other teams budget to have an excuse when they lose.
Yeah, that was he owned Dan Lanning. I like that coach.
Yes, and then Lanning added that. By the way, didn't Oklahoma State open against UT Martin? So yeah, it's very important for Gundy to only stay within his own little, economic.
You should probably
status.
pipe down.
UT
You should probably just stay silent.
I mean, Gundy's mouth has been writing checks his sorry ass can't cash for 20 years.
But he's also like one of those old school coaches that, like, if one of his players said something relatively like on as asinine as that comment, he'd probably be having Gundy would probably have that player running laps.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Gundy, for those who are unfamiliar, is the guy who got upset because one of the local TV stations ran a very sympathetic feature story on one of his students who'd gone through some hardship, and it was sort of the uplifting, this kid's doing great now. And Mike Gundy was literally screaming at a press conference about how gutless it was to attack just a poor kid the way they did. And he said, if you want to attack someone, attack me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, I remember.
So
that.
now, anytime you hear Gundy, it's, he's a man. He's 40. And then the other thing was, a few years ago, he started complaining about bias in the news and how he hates bias in the news. And he was glad that he had finally found a news source that plays it right down the middle. No opinion, just strictly the facts.
Oh, no.
And you decide. You want to guess? OAN. And then someone pulled him aside afterwards, apparently, and explained to him, you've got a lot of young black men on this team who are familiar with their steez, knows what OAN's about. And you may want to reconsider how much you are praising this organization. And then he came out the next day and said he was sorry, he misspoke. And also, not only misspoke, but he miswore the T-shirt because he was wearing an OAN T-shirt at practice at the time, which I think probably went.
I misdressed too. I misdressed.
Yeah.
No, it's funny too when you start talking about sports media and journalism. I mean, most of it is opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, so to have opinion is to be biased. There's not a lot of just straight news, just sports news anymore.
No, and particularly, if you're the coach at Oklahoma State, you deal with the local media, which is going to be very pro Oklahoma State, and you're dealing with, outside of that, like mostly bloggers and stuff. It's not like you're, there's this huge independent coverage of Big 12 football.
It's not like we're thinking about on this show, at the back half of this show, we should be talking about OSU because that moves numbers.
Yeah.
Oklahoma football, it moves numbers.
Is there anyone outside of Stillwater who gives a damn about Oklahoma State football?
No, I mean, that's the thing about 80% of college football. It's like it's very parochial.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, ASU is going to Starksville, Mississippi.
Yeah.
And they're all upset because the ASU coach said something about, like, they don't have a lot of hotels in Starksville.
Yeah. I mean, you're Starksville.
Yeah.
Of course you don't. I mean,
It's
not a tourism hub.
No, your stadium holds more people than the population of Starksville.
Yes.
Like, like they're all offended by that. Like Kenny Dillingham is some like elitist, some metropolitan elitist scumbag.
Somebody's like, come on, man. You've been there. You live there.
Come on, dude.
I mean, game's up. Admit it.
I think like 20-some thousand people live in Starksville. I mean, I come from a town in Iowa of that size.
Yeah.
Small.
Yeah.
Almost everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's absurd.
It is. Whatever.
By the way, when did Oklahoma State football get terrible? And I mean, I might be eating my words after this. I was just struck by Oregon's a 27.5-point favorite. I just looked it up. I believe it was 28.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I think the line moved, so it's now 27.5. They were 29.5-point favorites over a FCS team, Montana State, and Oklahoma State, a Big 12 team. It's 27.5.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope I understand that by the end of the game.
Well,
tomorrow,
I mean, one's Division I and the other's FCS school.
Yeah.
I whatever.
Yeah.
And Vegas they know what they're doing, I suppose.
Yeah.
Any pro games in your sight this weekend? Because you're more of a college fan.
I'm more of a college guy. I'll watch the NFL games. There's nothing. I mean, tonight we've got Chargers Chiefs, and I am a by default Chargers fan because I'm a complete Justin Herbert fanboy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
From Oregon, so
I'm from Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be watching that.
Yeah. I used to love the Chiefs as a kid, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Back when Schottenheimer was coaching them.
Yeah.
They were like my favorite team. Like, Christian Okoye was their big running back.
The Nigerian Nightmare.
Yes, he was ginormous.
Yeah.
Was it DeBerg? Steve DeBerg was their quarterback, who was just indestructible.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, you go out there and break an arm off, he'd still find a way to play the game.
Yeah.
And then Derek Thomas, which I thought was like one of the best linebackers of all time.
Yeah.
I really liked that team. And then we moved out here, just in time for the Cardinals. For me to become a Cardinal fan, and my life has been miserable as a pro football consumer ever since.
But you're an optimistic man.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I think the Cardinals are on upset alert, and they lose to the Saints in New Orleans, even though they are a road favorite. I think they're favored by 6 at this point.
Yeah, see, and this is funny because I'm certainly much more of a football pessimist than you tend to be on things like this. I think the Cardinals win this one easily.
I don't.
Yeah, the Saints are garbage fire, man. The Saints are.
I hope you're right.
Fire.
I hope you're right. But this sets up like a game that is the kind of game the Cardinals and Arizona sports teams just in general would lose. I mean, I am of the belief I'm not a spiritual guy or superstitious guy, but so lack of a better term, there's something about Arizona sports teams that are just cursed, man.
Yeah. I mean, I get all that. And then I look at the Saints roster.
And this is why I never bet on my teams. I've never bet on the Iowa Hawkeyes. I never will, and I will never. I don't bet much in sports anyway.
Yeah.
I used to throw a few bucks down on the ponies.
Yeah.
Which is always a bunch of fun. But I don't bet on. I'm not. I enjoy the game of football. I don't need money on it to make it more interesting.
Yes. I figured out long ago betting on Oregon that if I win, it's not like I'm happier that they won because I'm already happy they won, and if I'm not betting against them.
No, yeah,
I'm not going to be pissed off that my team won.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
What's the point? Yeah. I'm just not going to do that. So no, so I'll get up. I'm pretty pessimistic. I think rightfully so with the Iowa game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you may have spit something out when I told you 44 yards passing from Gronowski. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Because they were all over.
That's hard to do.
Because they were all over Arch Manning, the kid from Texas.
Yeah.
Or, the Manning family, because he didn't do very well.
Yeah.
And when he played against Ohio State last week, but he threw for like 170 yards.
Yeah.
And
against Ohio State.
Against Ohio State in Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid, a ton of expectations. I don't think it was possible for him to meet those expectations in Ohio State.
No.
And I'm not a defender of the Manning family. There's a lot of perks that have come his way because of his last name, but there's a lot of downside to that as well. And, you've got a bunch of like adults in the media pounding on a 19, 20-year-old kid because he didn't do well in Ohio State, whatever.
That is one of those things about sports media is they will get all behind something and you're thinking, why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we acting like Arch Manning is good? We don't know if Arch Manning's good.
Oh, they were going to give him the Heisman.
No, I mean they had already essentially given him the Heisman, and the question was, does he come out this year to be the first pick, or does he do another season at Texas before he comes out to be the first pick?
Yeah.
And even his grandfather was getting involved in that conversation. No, he's coming back for year 2, and like, can we determine if he's any good? Because he couldn't beat out Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
Their quarterback last year. You know what Quinn Ewers is doing right now? After getting...
Yeah. He got drafted, did he?
He's in Miami, where he's number 3 on the depth chart, and number 2 is Zach Wilson. So this is not... I mean, that's a solid accomplishment.
Yeah.
You're on an NFL roster. Congratulations. That's really good. But Arch Manning couldn't beat out that.
Yeah.
And now he's the starter, and we're... thinking he's going to be transcendent, generational,
and he still might be, but like
maybe
he didn't look. He didn't look
far.
at. I mean, the memes comparing a pass of his to Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite has just been all over the place because there's a similar. Anyway,
yeah.
No, like I just thought that was interesting. whether Manning comes back next week or not. I mean, he's playing some nobody team. I believe Texas is playing. That'll be kind of interesting. Other than that, man, just hoping that I am surprised by Iowa.
Yeah.
It is one of the other things too. I was noticed throughout the game is, there was a massive, huge brace on the left leg of the Iowa quarterback, and nobody mentioned it. Nobody talked about it.
Yeah, that's never really a great sign.
I was like, he's a great runner. And I'm like, but what's up with the brace?
Yeah.
What is up with that? It's
Yeah.
an enormous brace.
Is he a good hopper?
Yeah. He passed for 44 yards and ran for 39
With a brace on his knee.
with a ginormous brace.
That's not good.
Anyway,
All right.
should we wrap this up and
Yeah.
get on with our weekend? Got
Uh,
any fun plans for the weekend?
well, I'm on vacation
Oh
for a
yeah,
week, so yeah, I'll be visiting family in California.
nice.
So yeah, so I'm not here next week. I don't know if you're doing a pod without me next week, but I will not be part of the pod next week.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't care.
Yeah, I think we can skip a
Don't
week.
you want? Maybe
We'll see.
you do you.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel right to do the pod without you.
Oh, thank you.
The TV show takes care of itself.
Yeah.
When you're not around. But
Yeah.
pod. I think we need you here.
All right.
So I wouldn't.
Up to you. I won't be offended either way.
All right. Till next week or
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe.
We'll see when we see you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. You can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, the Google Store, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. See you next time.